morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason, happy hump day. Yeah, we're halfway through the week. It's going to be an interesting day. The Fed meeting, of course, we'll wait for the press conference. Nobody's expecting a rate cut. I would expect, we're going to see. I think Jay Powell's going to kind of say, hey, we're not going to do anything, and we're going to wait. And I think that's going to, we may get a truth social storm from the president after that one, but we'll have to wait and see. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And again, the ride that gold has been on, I don't know if you saw it, ran all day. You got back above 3,400. Got a little profit taking going on right now. I think it all will matter, though, what happens after the meeting. It should be the press conference that follows will be very interesting. We had some other developments, some good, some not so good. India has bombed Pakistan. Pakistan has shut down its airspace. Now, this is a long-time dispute. I mean, really, when you think about it, India, Pakistan, China have all had kind of a dispute on borders, and it has led to some, I guess, we'll call it, I don't know, terrorist activity, whatever word you want to use. India has launched a attack, killing at least 26 people, according to on the Pakistani side. They've closed their airspace. Heavy shelling being reported along the disputed line there. So that's right. That's never a good thing. This border war that is going on there now, right? It seems like war just kind of popping up everywhere. On the good side, China and the United States are going to hold talks over the weekend in Switzerland. We'll see what comes of it. I don't know. Let's hope. Hey, the best case scenario, I mean, maybe take the tariffs down a little bit. That would be great, but I don't know. So a little bit of good news. One thing, the Treasury Secretary did confirm there will be no trade deal at this meeting. So, but maybe a de-escalation. You know what? I'm hoping at least somebody is going to have a meeting about doing something, and we'll have to see exactly what that is. And again, there's been a lot of pressure on Jay Powell, primarily from the president, about lowering interest rates. But right now, nobody thinks that they will. I think it'll be all about comments. If he hints at rate cuts, that could be a game changer. I don't think that it will. I don't think that he's going to do that. I think that he's going to say, hey, we're standing at the ready. We did get negative GDP, but I think he'll say, hey, the economy's not that bad. He'll say a lot of noise in the number because of this whole trade thing, right? I expect second quarter GDP to have a bounce back because we stopped importing stuff, right? So you would hope anyway that would be the case. But I guess what I'm trying to say is there could be a lot of action a little bit later. But the overall trend, China was back in the gold. Remember last week I told you China was on vacation? They take a lot of vacations there. And what happened? The gold just took off. Yesterday, the day before, they were back in the gold markets, Poland in the gold market, Czech Republic in the gold, right? Jason, these central banks continuing not to care about the price. Essentially, they're weighing their options because remember, in July officially, gold becomes a Tier 1 asset for all banks, not just central banks, all banks, all companies. And of course, Tier 1, what does that mean? Well, by rule, Tier 1 assets, you get to mark at 100% of value. And essentially, it's kind of like, well, yeah, if you hold it, you're good. You're good. You're going to get your money. You're going to get paid. If you are, say, a Tier 3 asset, well, you can't use that at 100%. Right? They'll say, well, you can use half of that value. So that's where gold was. Now, you can use it at full value, and what these banks are saying is that's a really good value, right? If I can use it at full value, gold at $3,400 isn't expensive. I mean, Jason, that's essentially what they're saying.
I agree. I agree, and gold is telling us that things are going to get more expensive, and gold keeps pushing. Now, it is in this frame, right, Joe? It's been in this 3250 to 3450 frame. I don't think
that's it's right for what, 2 weeks? Right.
Well, I mean, but we've had these 2 weeks in the last 16 months. We've had these just tremendous rise. There's been these cool off zones. Where's it going to go if we break up above that, Joe? And I have a feeling we're going to break above. When we hit $3,500, how many hundreds of dollars will it go up at that point?
800-951-0592. Joe and Jason, Patriot Radio News Hour on this Wednesday. Going to be, well, every week's exciting, right? We're going to get Jay Powell later today. Remember, jobless claims tomorrow. Are we going to go back down? Or are we going to stay above 240? I think that number is going to become more important now. So we're going to keep watching that jobless claims number. If it goes back down, I don't think you're going to get the Fed to move, right? I mean, that's just how it feels right now. But quick look at the market. So the Dow's up 150. It was down yesterday, rebounding today. The S&P's up 3. The NASDAQ's down 50. The 10-year note, right, been very elevated. It's down right now. There is no extra auction today. They did it Monday, Tuesday, and then tomorrow is the third extra auction. I don't expect it to stay down. But it is down at least this morning. Crude oil kind of flat. And, of course, as we know, when we're talking about crude oil, right, Saudi Arabia kind of hinting that, hey, we're gonna make oil at a lower price. And then, of course, you heard from the oil sector here, a lot of CapEx being pulled back now. They don't want to drill more wells at this price. So we'll see about that. Right now, when you look at maybe the oil to gold ratio, that kind of looks out of whack, right? Because gold's so high and oil's, I guess now anything under 60 is not expensive anymore. Gold right now, down 45. 33.89 right now on gold. Gold's been as high as 34.31. And again, I think the routine profit taking here, everyone's going to wait till after the announcement from Jay Powell. Silver, same thing. So silver got above 33. Silver's just hating 33. It's really having a hard time staying above it. 32.54. Platinum, the only metal higher right now, $985. Continue to be diversified. I cannot stress it enough. And I know it's hard, right? It's like, man, it's up there. Yeah, it is. But just understand the message that it's sending you. We've got, after today, the end of May is going to be very interesting. We're going to hear a lot more about the debt ceiling and the spending. Those are going to be the things, because they need to get something passed, because we're on these emergency measures and they're going to be out of money. So you're going to start hearing, you're going to have to start hearing truth. And that's probably going to be pretty painful for the markets, especially the bond market. Because listen, the guys that come out on TV, they're all going to lie, right? They're all, no, we're going to get, Doge, $2 trillion. Okay, it was like $100 billion, right? Close, right? Not really, right? Not even in the ballpark. And then they'll tell you, we can't raise taxes. We gotta extend these tax cuts, and we're gonna get more. Somehow they'll get more revenue. And then, of course, spending. They want the Defense Department. Now they're trying to do two things. They want to keep the one bill under $1 trillion, but then have a second bill for $150 billion, so they can really get to about $1.1 trillion. You see where I'm going. You guys do understand, right? What's coming. I hope you understand what's coming. Jason, I think this is kind of the next, say, 3 to 4 weeks. They have no choice but to, now, could they do something where they kick it down another month? I don't know that they can, because I think the emergency measure stuff is. I mean, you would literally be forced to tell people not to come to work, I guess.
That's happened before, right?
Yeah, right.
It's happened before, and
the government shutdown.
They'll use this, and this is just me, Joe. They're going to get it done. They're going to get. But here's the thing:
they got to, right?
They might kick up a little dirt, and it might get in the news cycle a little bit, and this might be a moment for Trump to come out and be a hero. He'll negotiate the deal, and it'll be. But we'll see. We'll see. I would love to see Thomas Massey start screaming in Congress and trying to make a statement. It's like, hey, we shouldn't be spending this money. This is not going to work.
I think you'll see Trump attacking Massey very heavily. Just breaking here. Why should anybody be shocked by this? Okay, this does not bode well for rate cuts. Used vehicle pricing. Now, again, anybody with an IQ higher than room temperature probably could have figured this out. Jumped last month to the highest levels since October 2023, as tariffs now are the biggest issue. Auction prices increased 4.9% from a year earlier. And Jason, remember when used vehicle prices went crazy after COVID because there was no cars, right? And that was one of the big things with the inflation shooting up. This is the dilemma, guys. This is it. So what choice is Jay Powell? Now, he doesn't have to make the choice today. He's going to punt today. He's going to punt. But by the next meeting, what's he going to do? Fight inflation? Or cave to rate cuts? That's going to be the question, Jason. It's one or the other.
There's nothing else in the news that speaks to we're going to do the rate cuts and get ready to print yet, right? I think that's where we're headed. But right now, the news cycle doesn't seem to have that urgency yet. So maybe we need to have the shutdown and have the news stories where the government employees are not coming to work and the furloughs and all. Maybe we need to have that, and then they'll magically pass this rate cut. Well, then maybe even how about an emergency rate cut after a spending bill emergency. I mean, you can do the emergency rate cut, right, Joe? You can always do that, and suddenly we'll have pictures of horrible economics all over the country, which is actually happening, like the stuff we talk about.
Now I got bad news. Okay, here we go. Apparently, talks with the EU have broken down. The good news today on trade was China and the United States delegates are going to meet in Switzerland over the weekend. The Treasury Secretary said, hey, there's not going to be a trade deal, but maybe a de-escalation. The EU, according to Bloomberg, said that retaliatory measures are to begin as early as today, saying that the import tax are unjustified and causing economic harm on both sides of the Atlantic. The situation is not acceptable, and we cannot afford to stay idle. They're saying that talks have broken down and that it is time to act in unequivocal terms for the EU's interest in their slapping tariffs now on $113 billion of U.S. goods. So not good news out of Europe.
Do you think they're going to stop sending stuff like it's possible with China? Do you think this will actually turn into that?
I will say this. Audi, car maker Audi, has pulled all of their shipments. They are not going to ship cars, at least right now. I don't know if others are going to follow suit here. And again, you talk about inflation. That's terrible. I'll be honest, right? Can you imagine Audi, Mercedes, right? All these companies stop shipping their cars. Well, the cars that are here, they'll be a fortune.
And as you said, we had the inflation going off. Used car prices were going through the roof. So, yeah, we
remember they kept talking about
sure
that. Right?
Seems like we're heading for the same thing. Doesn't this feel like a lot of the economic things we were looking at during COVID without the COVID? Doesn't this seem like it was COVID literally just a cover up, and we're going to have these every couple of years these horrible flashes of bad economics and huge inflation. Joe, it just everything that I see, and then when the news that you bring to the air, it just is screaming of inflation, and they're not going to cut rates if screaming inflation is coming, or at least that's not what they're supposed to do, right? So I mean,
they're supposed to do.
Can you imagine if we get screaming inflation before they make a decision, and then they raise the rates? Can you imagine if they reverse course?
No. It
doesn't seem like that's possible.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's possible. I think it has to be cuts no matter what. That's where I sit right now. Right. They have to cut no matter what. And I would be horrified if we had skyrocketing inflation while they were being put it this way, forget 4,000 gold. That's 5, 6. I mean, I don't know. Chapter 7 bankruptcies rose 16% year over year, just under 31 filings in April, according to the American Bankruptcy Institute. Total bankruptcy filings, which includes submissions from both individuals and business, are up 9% this year. So that's a lot. Individuals resorting to Chapter 7, the 9% increase, 16% surge in individuals. So when you think about it, they're now saying individual bankruptcies are spiking. We knew about the business bankruptcies spiking. Rite Aid did it again. I don't know how much longer they're going to be in business. They filed again, announced closures of hundreds of stores. We'll see if they make it. I don't know. I know this. Not all the creditors have agreed. And if they can't get that done, they'll be forced into liquidation. So keep that in mind as we continue to try to see what's ahead. And Jason, like I said, the amount of all the debt out there, why do I say the Fed has to cut? I think it's clear. I think you're seeing Japan sell. I think you're seeing Europe sell. China sell. What am I talking about? Selling what? Treasuries. I think that is the underlying thing that people don't calculate into, okay, well, we got to sell this much debt every day. But wait a minute. Japan, they usually just roll over. Heck, they roll over and then they'll buy some more. Maybe they'll buy a little more. Now they're going into these debt auctions, Jason, and not only aren't they not rolling it all over, right? They're saying, well, yeah, we rolled over. Let's just say today they roll over $1 billion. Or they had $1 billion. Hell, well, we're not going to roll over $1 billion. You know what? We'll just roll over $900 million. And then the next day, well, there's another billion. Well, we're going to do $900 million. And the next day, right? Over and over and over. And if they do that, and China does that, and the EU does that, all of a sudden, that's a lot more treasuries somebody else has to buy.
Right, and that's what we talk about is at some point, is the Fed going to just buy the entire market to save it if it starts to crash really hard? I mean, are we looking at is there a situation where the markets crash harder than the inflation goes up? I guess that's what we're looking at, Joe. Are markets going to try to crash harder, or is inflation going to try to run harder? This is where hyperinflation starts to get whispered, right?
I will say this. Thankfully, oil is down. 800-951-0592. Joe and Jason on this Wednesday. I got a gold item and a silver item, $20 gold pieces. They're, 36? Hold on, 36 and a quarter. We're going to take them down. Hold on a minute. You know what? I was ready, and then then I wasn't ready yet. 35 and a quarter.
Oh.
So that's $100 off. Jump on them. Why? Because I think $4,000 gold is going to be the new $2,000 gold. That's what I think. And maybe, you know what, if it goes really bad, $2,000 gold will be the new $250 gold. If it goes really bad. And it may. That's the problem. Let's just get serious for just a minute. You know, we talk over and over. I've been doing this, what is this, year 22, something like that, a long time. I've seen a lot of crap. And the crap just keeps piling up. And guess what? It's really starting to smell. And everybody's smelling it. And they're all heading for the exit. Listen, does that mean the world comes to an end? No. Does that mean the stock market's a terrible investment? Nope. Doesn't. What it means, though, is we're going to be, and we're in it. Think about it. Let me ask you. Better or worse than when you were growing up? Better or worse? Right? Think about when you graduated from high school. Heck, how many of us out there moved out of our parents' house either right before you graduated high school or right after? Everybody. You know, I've got a 25-year-old son. You know what? Everybody's just they're in disbelief because we don't pay for anything. What? Yeah. No, dude. How did you do that? I didn't do it. He did it. It's hard. All these kids, they got their college degrees. They're worth nothing. Can't buy a house without mom and dad's help. Can't pay the rent without mom and dad's help. Can't pay the car. I mean, think about it. Buying a car now is like a life-changing decision. Okay, I can either move out of my parents' house or I can get a car.
Yep.
And guess what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm sorry. You don't like the message? Change the channel, okay? It's going to get worse. It will get better. I promise you it will. It's going to get worse. You maxed out the credit card, right? Look at what I just said. Personal bankruptcy filings up 16%. Now, you know what Donald Trump said it right in his first term. Hey, we may file bankruptcy, the whole country. It's what it's going to feel like. It is exactly what it's going to feel like. $20 gold pieces, $100 off, $35.25. Rolls of dimes, $125. They're $132.50, $125. You want some quarters? Quarters are $2.65. No, $2.50 for rolls of silver quarters at 800-951-0592. And they're going to pretend this. They're going to pretend that Jay Powell said something dramatic. He didn't. He's not going to. He's not going to tell you the truth. I wish he would. I really do. Just tell us the truth. Sorry, guys. I got two choices. Remember when I told you? I don't know about that. I don't know about this tariff plan. I don't. That it didn't work. I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. $100 billion, that's good. But that's nothing. $100 billion. Heck, we probably spent $100 billion since I've been on the air this morning. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, probably did. I mean, I'm joking. We didn't, but it feels like it. Close. Tell the truth. Hey, I've got crappy plan A and crappy plan B. Well, Jay, can we get a good plan? How about a good plan? Where's good plan A? Well, there is no good plan. You get it yet? You figure it out yet? Pulled your head out of your backside yet? I don't know what more gold can do to tell you how much trouble we're in. How much trouble are we in? You know, gold was $800. And, Paul Volcker, listen, you know what they did? Here's what they did. Hey, let's trick them, and we'll blow up the debt. That's what they did. Do you know it took 100 years? 100 stinking years to get to $1 trillion. You know what's sad? It took 90 years to get to $400 billion. So think about it. They had already more than doubled the debt by 1981 in 10 years. And then they went on a run up. Think about this. It's Paris Hilton getting daddy's credit card, running all over the place. Right? It's girls gone wild, racking it up. Well, now what? Well, we're a drug addict, alcoholic, broke. Man, we're running out of the drugs. So now I got to lash out. Yeah. Don't wake up. What do I care? Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. $20 gold. $100 off. $35.25. Rolls of dimes. $125. $750. It's a lot. $750. There's inflation. I don't know. Have you heard? Quarters. $250. At 800-951-0592. And I know I can hear it already. Joe, tell us about Texit. I know you're just waiting and waiting.
Before we get to Texit, hey, the bread and butter of what we do is gold and silver. Texit could be a long-term thing that's going to go and go and go, which that's what I expect. But make sure you have your gold and silver. And if you want to trade gold and silver to get texted, that's one way to buy in without touching your cash, if that's what you want to do. Just make sure you're not giving us your last 3 ounces of gold. You know, I'm not going to suggest anybody that has 3 ounces of gold to buy the 9-pack and get involved in this. But we know a lot of our customers, Joe, they've been stacking for years. They can handle the buy-in, whether it's cash, check, coins, or whatever, Joe.
Yeah, and again, just remember, there's risk here, right? Yes, I know who's behind it. Yes, you have access to. Yes, I'm going to be talking to them, and Jason's going to be talking to them face to face.
Should we tell them what they just did this morning? Should we tell them? No. Okay.
I don't want to tell them.
Okay.
I'll just say this. Listen, we're going to be sitting down with Bobby, and I'll be back with some more intel. Is it risk? Yes. Are there safer stuff out there? Gold and silver, they're way safer. But this is an opportunity to get involved in something that, yes, is speculative. We know this. We all love the premise, decentralized money. You know, it's so funny. People, what does decentralized money mean? Well, it means Jay Powell doesn't matter anymore, right? You can't mess with us with your stupid money printing inflation bullcrap. That's what it means. And it's one of those things where, like I said, it's unique. It's not, like Bitcoin, you buy the coin, right? You know, this is buying more of a philosophy when it comes to your money and your wealth. That's it. I don't know what's going to happen. I know what Bobby thinks. I know Bobby's been in this industry, really since it started. He's testified in Congress about it. I mean, it's not like the guy's new to this. And it's something that I think is worth the shot. Like I said, the most is 9,000. You can do 3,000, 6,000, 9,000. Heck, you can do it. I this morning did $995. It's fine. That's the minimum. But if you do 3,000, and it's really just under 3,000, just under 6,000, but if you do 3, 6, or 9, you get some bonus with that. What does that mean? That just means you get more coins every day. The other part, a lot of us have never done this before. We can do it together. Right? We'll be out there helping along the way. Isn't that kind of cool? Right? Oh, well, hey, I'm having trouble getting my Kraken account going, or I don't know how the digital wallet works, or I don't know. Then you call. And you got us to talk to. That part, you don't get that anywhere else, but you're going to get that here. And like I said, this is about, not just about paying, this is about the radio station. This is about getting this message out. This is about people that believe in the same sort of things that we talk about all the time. We want sound money. Yeah, is there a potential here to hit it big? Yes. Yep, there is. There's also a potential to lose. Right? That's just what it is. But the cool thing about this is they don't allow for big buyers. No one. Elon Musk can't call up Bobby and say, hey, Bobby, let me give you $1 billion. No, thank you. He was heavily involved in Bitcoin, got out of it for that reason.
Let me add something, Joe, because this is an asset. I'm going to say this again. I've been saying this to a lot of people. Look, cryptos is essentially a pile of money. The government, the IRS, the SEC, they all have deemed it an equity, which is a stock. To me, that's not really being truthful because a stock has a company behind it. So some of these cryptos have technology behind it. This one has blockchain. The blockchain is mathematical equations. They solve a puzzle, and it creates a block. Then the miner is given coins, rewarded for their computer doing the work. And the blocks are put on a chain. It's called proof of work.
Right. And plus that block, right, that's where you get all that data storage, right? That's kind of that's what it is.
Why do all this? Well, this crypto, a blockchain crypto, and so some of the others that have technology behind them, like AI and other things, this keeps somebody from going in and clicking on a keyboard and saying, okay, I got myself another 1 million coins. They have to be earned. So this is important. So it's like, so you got to think, well, it just seems all funny to me. A pile of money, everyone takes their money and leaves, and I'm left holding the bag. That's true. Many cryptos, this is what they do. That's what Trump Coin did. Trump Coin they put their pile of money in there, and unfortunately MAGA got excited, and then their money went away. So
hey, Jason, 58 people made money on that.
The big club. So when we come back, I want to finish this because when you're saying, well, I don't want to just throw my money on a pile of money, but you're already doing this. It's called a bank. If you're trusting your bank, which we don't trust banks that much, but we have to deal with this. So what is this crypto that we're interested in? What advantages do you have to throw in your pile of money here? It's actually very easy. I'll hit on the other side. And it has to do with the Federal Reserve and money printing versus Texit. Which one's going to make more?
800-951-0592 if you want more information on Texit or sign up. You can call us at Patriot. You can also reach out to Jason at the radio station, and we'll help you through it. But
let me finish that thought real quick, Joe.
Yeah.
Let me finish the thought, sure. Because basically, if you've got a crypto that, in this case, being a blockchain, and it's proof of work, which means they can't just tap a bunch of coins onto a screen. Then as far as is this thing going to work, it has the potential to go flying like crazy. So Joe and I are on board because we want to catch fire in a bottle if we can. But at worst, Joe, it seems to me that the reason I really am feeling safe in this investment, as safe as you can be with any kind of risk, is that I believe that it mathematically looks like there will be less coins minted than dollars being printed by the Fed. That simply means that this asset will grow versus the dollar because there's going to be less of them. This is why Bitcoin's doing so well. A lot less. I mean, 21 million Bitcoins. Only 21 million Bitcoins. No wonder Bitcoin's going up. Look what the Fed's been doing since 2009. They doubled the money supply in 2020. Bitcoin went screaming upwards in 2021. It did have a big, huge sell-off. And people jumped off of Bitcoin at the wrong time, and then it went back and kept going up again. Remember, if it's an asset and it's a good store of money where people aren't going to run for the exit, like Bitcoin, this is a blockchain. This is built the right way. There's going to be less of it. So just simply based off that, it's going to have good gains and have a good investment value. But boy, if people discover this later than us, which that's what's going to happen. It's not on the big exchanges yet. When it hits the big exchanges, the crypto world's ears will perk up, and suddenly people will be running in. This is a great time to get in, Joe.
Yeah, it's already on Bitmark, which is a pretty big exchange, but they're going to be on the big ones very, very shortly. But having said all that, like we said, we've been telling you, it's 1,000 to 9,000, but at 3, 6, and 9,000, you get benefit. Obviously, at 9,000, you get the most benefit to it. I love it because it just when you sell. Let's just hey, 6 months later, you made a few dollars. You want to sell? Awesome, you sell it. But guess what? The very next day, there's more coins in your account. This is why I think it's so much better than just actually buying the coin. If you took 9,000 and bought Texit right now, you can do that. You'll get like 4,500 coins. If you put 9,000 into this program, worst case, 180 days from now, you have over 4,500 coins. And guess what? You still get coins every single day. For the next 100 years, 130 years. You're going to have to hand it down to people. That's why I love it. That's why I love it. For me, and what we're doing here. But I'll say this right now. It's an opportunity. If you want to trade gold, a $20 gold piece, a gold eagle, a Canadian Maple Leaf gold bar, you give us one, you get a 3-pack, that's $4,000 worth in a 20. You give us 3, hey, you get the 9-pack. If you want to put it on a credit card, write us a check, however you want to do it. Like always, if you want more details, just call us. 800-951-0592.